Thank you so much for joining me on CGTN. I want to start with your trip this time to China. What do you hope to achieve and how's your mission gone so far?
I come here because China is a great power in the world today. It's the second largest economy. And China has a very important role to play in fighting the fight to end HIV/AIDS. China has to address HIV/AIDS in its own country. China is also helping other countries to fight and win against HIV/AIDS by 2030. So I've come here to encourage China to seek stronger collaboration with Chinese institutions. Last night I was hosted by your amazing First Lady, who is herself a champion for very many years against HIV/AIDS, fighting stigma and discrimination, working with children living with HIV/AIDS. So I come away with very strong impressions, the commitment of China and its people, Chinese government and its people.
The cooperations between China and the United Nations, China has contributed a lot in the United Nations, let it be, the biodiversity, climate change, peacekeeping, and etc. But I want to talk about the health sector, specifically the HIV/AIDS.
HIV/AIDS hit the world and has been with us for 40 years. At the height of the pandemic, the world came together, created institutions, pulled money together, brought prices down for everyone in the world to get what they need to stay alive. And China has been part of that global solidarity from day one. China puts money, its own resources, into the global fight against AIDS. It contributes to the Global Fund, which is the main pot of funds for developing countries to fight AIDS. And China also supports our work as a global program supporting governments and people to fight AIDS through our joint program, gives us contributions. So China is in every way a part of global health, whether it's on our disease, HIV/AIDS, or on fighting other epidemics. China was very important in this ongoing negotiation on a pandemics treaty. China was very important in the discussion of how to fight COVID and put its resources and its vaccines for developing countries to fight COVID. So China plays an important role in global health through the government and its financing, but also through its private sector and producing health technologies.
So how do you evaluate China's role in terms of promoting sustainable development?
Again, China plays an important role in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Through its supporting the global frameworks, China has put forward, for example, its own Global Development Initiative. We see that as an important contribution towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. China, through its companies, innovates, provides new technologies, whether for in the field of renewable energy, where China is a leader, whether it is in the field of agriculture and agricultural development, which is critical for food security and the SDGs, whether it's in the field of climate adaptation, technologies, as I've mentioned, renewable energies.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has proposed 3 major global initiatives, including the Global Security Initiative, Global Development Initiative, as well as Global Civilization Initiative. These accounts as China's contributions to the world and in terms of solving pressing issues. What do you think makes these initiatives unique, and how would it help solving the pressing issues under the current international landscape?
We see it as China's unique contribution towards achieving that universal framework of the Sustainable Development Goals. The Global Development Initiative, which is the one I work through because we work in the development part, we see it as a vehicle towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And it is China's own framework through which we can work to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The other frameworks too are relevant for other parts of what the United Nations does, like the role of peace and security, or the role in humanitarian sector. But I am primarily focused in the area of the Global Development Initiative, and we welcome it and we're happy to work through it to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.